Hey, it's me again. Hey, it's been about 2 months since your last video. Did it really take that long to record this one? No. I just didn't feel like recording. So we're here again. We're gonna do another video today about Pistons because they're awesome. Wasn't the last one about Pistons? Well, the last one was about piston doors. This one's about other stuff. You can do all kinds of stuff with pistons. I mean, you can make piston doors like you're doing in the last video, but there's a lot of other stuff you can do too. You can make flying machines that, do as advertised. You can make little bouncy things like this. Redo that one. You can make little bouncy things like this. Not like that. You can make little bouncy things like this. Almost. You can make little bouncy things like this. That was flying. You can make little bouncy things like this. You can also make, other things. So let's show off some of the stuff we can make with these cool things. Don't know if I showed you guys this door in my other video, but this is a sliding door. Kind of looks like the thing you might see in like a grocery store or a vault or a prison. I know sliding doors in prisons are like iron bars, but that's iron, so it's close enough. Well, that sliding motion is executed using piston extenders. Basically makes a piston push or retract longer than it normally would. If you saw my last video, then I talked about this right here. This is a setup for a piston extender, and if you come from Java Edition, you probably don't see anything wrong with this. If we push that lever here, you see it extends, but when we retract it, you get a weird thing going on. That's because in Bedrock Edition this doesn't work. However, there is a pretty similar design we can use. If we just take out this block right here, replace it with a 4-tick delay, make this a 4-tick delay, and then put one more 4-tick delay. Might even work on 3. We'll test it out. Put a block there with redstone dust on it. Flick that lever. It'll extend. And then retract. Perfect. But that's not the one our fabulous sliding door over there uses. Let's use that one instead. So here, once again, is our double piston extender. And this time, we're going to put any block of your choice that's solid, normal block, right there with an observer facing down. We'll take a redstone repeater with 3 ticks and put redstone dust on either side of it. Now if we give it a power source from this side, where the piston faces, it'll extend and retract just like we want it to. This design is a little more expensive because you need quartz and repeaters and stuff, but, well, you did in the other one anyway, so. In this door here, we're actually pushing slime blocks, which allows us to move much bigger pieces at once, like these doors here. So if we want to do that with this one, we're going to have to take out this block here and replace it with a non-movable block. There's several you could choose from. I'm going to use obsidian here. So we take that, put some redstone dust on it, and now if we take some slime blocks, we can move all of this at once. Well, not if I flick it twice. There we go. It extends and retracts, so we can attach blocks to it and move them like it's one solid entity. Now, the push limit for pistons, as I'm sure some of you know, is 12 blocks, which means where this is 4 blocks here, and this is 4 blocks here, that adds a total of 8, which means we should be able to add 1, 2, 3, 4 more blocks to it. But you get something really weird happening. Also, when you retract it, it's going to leave that behind. Let's do that a little differently. We have 8 here, 9, 10, 11, 12. This should push, but it doesn't. And that's because even though a piston push limit is 12 blocks, and we have 12 blocks here, we can't forget about this piston here also being a block. So this piston is actually pushing 13. If we take one off here, now it works as normal. Slime blocks actually offer us another use for pistons. If we take some slime blocks here, a little observer and a piston, to here, and this right here is a flying machine. I think I showed it to you guys right at the start. Let's show you guys how one works. The most basic principle you need to know is that this observer right here gives off an output, so if we put another piston there, gives off an output every time the block in front of it changes. You can see that piston's firing. That means that when an observer moves, it's giving off a pulse because the block that's in front of it is changing. That means that if we have observer here with a normal piston, powering it, or rather not powering it, but putting a block in front of it will power this piston. We put another thing in front of that, with an observer and a sticky piston. We can activate it, and it'll start moving in this direction. That's because in the forward direction, we have a normal piston. In the backwards direction, we have a sticky piston pulling the rest of the machine. Now this works because, let's imagine this wool as your observer. We start this one, so it gives off a pulse into this piston, which pushes and then immediately goes away because it's a one-tick pulse. Now, the block in front of this observer has moved, so now it tells this block right here to get a one-tick pulse. So it extends and de-extends, retracts, I'm really good with words, and brings the rest of the machine back. And of course, this moving now causes this one to do a pulse, so that fires, and this fires, and that fires, and you get the idea. We'll definitely be doing more with these in future videos. I almost forgot, there is actually one thing I want to show you more with piston extenders before we move on to the next topic. In my first video, I got a comment from a guy named Said6, hopefully I'm saying that right, I don't know what else it would be. I'm happy to subscribe, that was a very good video, thanks. I'm struggling to design a 2-wide double extender that can lift or lower a gate, perhaps even split it into the middle, one up and one down. That is an interesting concept, Said6, so I tried to make one myself. If I understood what you were asking, you wanted a 2-block wide thing that has 2 double piston extenders that can activate independently, or together if you want them to, and this would be it. Now this particular design gets powered from the side, which means that you can't have more than 2 next to each other. It's an unfortunate design, and I'll try to improve on it. It's also a little bigger than I would like, so this has some room for improvement that I will work on in the future, but for the time being, this is what I was able to come up with. It works by activating this block here, and this will extend, and this one here. That causes this side to extend, so if you want both of them to extend, you want both sides powered, and they can also retract independently. It works because we have redstone dust on this side here, and even though the redstone dust is connected, which means that if you were to power it, it would power both. The reason it is able to do one independently is because I'm powering the redstone with a signal of 1, which means that when this gets powered, it dies out when it moves over to this side so it doesn't touch the other side. And we get a source of 1 by using a crafter here with 1 slot made solid. When we push that up into this spot here, so if we were to put it here, it lights up, and comparators give off an output that like they're reading how many slots in here are filled, which is 1, so it gives off a signal of 1. So this lights up and not this one, and that lets this activate. Now this didn't activate here because I don't have this lever turned on, but that's how it works. Even though the redstone's connected, we're able to activate it independently by using a signal of 1. So here's how to build it if you want to do it yourself. This shows you the schematic of it. On the other side, you just mirror it, and don't forget that the crafter needs to have 1 solid space inside of it for it to work. Thank you, Said6, for the idea, and I hope you stick around to see this video as well as others. And that goes for everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed and that you'll see my future videos. Make sure to subscribe so that you get the notification for them, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.